Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Kembali di BBTV, kita kembali di bawah program pameran kartun online, yang mana pameran ini dianjurkan oleh craftora.com, menampilkan lebih daripada 100 karya-karya yang telah dicipta oleh 35 kartunis tanah air kita, Malaysia. Program kartun online ini merupakan program pertama di tanah air kita. Orang ramai boleh menyaksikan program pameran online kartun ini menerusi platform www.craftora.com, dan di situ anda boleh layari dan dapat melihat semua jenis kartunis dengan karya-karya mereka, dan ia merupakan percuma. Percuma, tiada apa-apa bayaran yang dikenakan. Dan kali ini pameran kartun online berkonsepkan rasuah. Okey. Tidak membuangkan masa, salah satu daripada kartunis yang telah berkecimpung dalam pameran ini adalah Encik Shukbir Chima. Encik Shukbir.
Hai, terima kasih Datuk. Thank you for inviting me
Good
here.
Good evening, selamat petang.
Selamat petang.
Okey, Encik Shukbir, saya nak bertanya sedikit. Encik Shukbir asalnya datang daripada mana? Asal dari mana?
Saya asal orang Seremban.
Oh, Seremban.
Yes.
So now kita buat cross di Seremban atau di Kuala Lumpur?
Di Seremban.
Seremban. Okey, kita dapat saksikan secara langsung daripada studio kita ke Seremban. Kita bersama Shukbir Chima, salah satu kartunis tanah air kita. Okey, Shukbir, bolehkah saudara Shukbir menceritakan asal usul Shukbir di dalam industri kartunis ini? You
Boleh.
can speak Malay, you can speak English also, no problem.
Okay, I think I will do Rojak lah.
Rojak. You must show that you are cartoonist, Rojak.
Saya mula start melukis semenjak saya kecil lagi. I think when I was around 9 years old, 10 years old, saya selalu suka lukis. Buku teks. Bila my mother and father they buy the buku teks, saya selalu suka lukis dalam buku teks, sampai my mother pun dia naik angin sebab bila dia tengok kartun semua dilukis dalam buku teks. So dia akan marah saya, kenapa you lukis ini buku belajar bukan kartun. So tapi saya sangat minat lukis kartun, but at that time it didn't cross my mind yang saya boleh jadi kartunis.
Okay.
Only in 2014, masa tu saya seorang dengan Rakyat Post, and masa tu Rakyat Post ialah online news platform, and masih baru lagi masa tu. So saya approach graphic punya team head of the graphic, and I ask her, to try introducing cartoons. Kita cuba try lukis kartun, and then who knows, maybe orang akan suka dan lagi ramai orang akan datang membaca The Rakyat Post. So dari situ first I started lukis kartun.
Okay. That's how you started to build your career lah.
That's right. And then I realized, so lukis kartun ni actually it can be a serious, boleh menjadi sesuatu yang serius.
Okay.
Ya.
Sewaktu di sekolah tu, Shukbir, adakah sesiapa menggalakkan Shukbir untuk berkecimpung dalam kartun, lukisan-lukisan?
Galak tu tidak ada, sebab masa tu banyak orang yang bila diorang tengok saya lukis, diorang akan cakap, oh you pandai lukis, itu saja. Tapi diorang tidak cakap, oh you teruskan lukis, hope one day you become an artist or something. Tidak ada.
Oh, tak ada.
Tidak ada. Tapi ada sekali tu, masa saya sekolah menengah, this one was during one exam, masa ujian pemeriksaannya.
Yeah.
Saya dah siap my kertas ujian tu. And then one of the teachers dia lalu sebelah my meja, and sebab masa tu saya dah siap my kertas ujian, so saya pun tengah on extra piece of paper, saya tengah lukis. Dia pandang saya, dia tengok saya, then she look at me and she say, kamu ni pandai lukis lah. You nak cuba try lukis komik tak untuk majalah sekolah?
Oh, okay.
So majalah sekolah. So this one is every year ada majalah sekolah kan? Every
Masa
year kita
tu
ada
umur
majalah
berapa
sekolah.
tahun?
I think around 13 or 14 lah. 13 atau 14 tahun.
Okay.
Yeah, form 1, form 2 macam tu. Dan cikgu tu cakap, you cuba try lah lukis komik, dan kita akan terbit dalam majalah sekolah. So saya pun okay lah. Just try. And I try, and that was the first time my cartoon masuk dalam majalah sekolah.
Okay. Adakah kartun tu disimpan sebagai memori sampai sekarang?
Yes, ada lagi.
Okay. Syubir, daripada sekolah anda telah melukis dan cikgu memberi peluang untuk mengkaryakan dalam buku sekolah. Apakah lagi achievement yang Cik Syukbir telah masuk saya pameran-pameran antarabangsa ataupun pameran-pameran di Malaysia? Berapa banyak pameran apa? Ada tak masuk?
So far, the most number of pameran yang saya masuk is the one with kumpulan kartunis independent. So kumpulan kartunis independen is organized by Zuna NHT. So ada kartunis group. So diorang selalu almost every year ada exhibition.
Okay.
And I think my first exhibition in 2015. 2015. This one is dekat Angkop Mall. Dia ada macam ada taman dekat sebelah MCOP Mall. I forgot what's the name of the taman. But dia ada buat exhibition dekat situ. So masa tu YB and launch the event. I dah lupa nama event tu, tapi long time ago. So but that was my first time. So I masa tu saya rasa okay. So that means I can actually go into exhibition also. Okay. So it was a good platform.
Okay, sebagai seorang kartunis, you ambil this career sebagai profession as a hobby atau your full-time job?
So this one is more like a hobby. Because for me, saya full-time, saya seorang penulis. Yeah, and so because I'm a penulis, I do drawing on the side. So kadang-kala saya dapat klien yang datang kepada saya, dia cakap, okay, can you please draw for me this artwork or something? Then I will do the artwork lah. But my main kerjaya is
lain you putus. Your main kerjaya is what?
Penulis.
Penulis, okay. You menulis apa yang you menulis?
Saya menulis, first I started as a reporter. I pernah bekerja dengan New Straits Times, The Rakyat Post. And then lepas tu now I'm currently with Mash Asia. And saya juga pengasas Excentrica. It's a arts and culture content website untuk seni Malaysia lah, di Malaysia.
Zubir, Syukbir, dalam industri kartun ni, walaupun ia adalah satu hobi, kadang-kadang dilihat sebagai profession yang profesional. Sebagai seorang kartunis, banyak anak-anak muda di luar tu, kanak-kanak di sekolah tu nak tahu, patutkah mereka, sekiranya mereka menggemar untuk menjadi kartunis, patutkah mereka mengambil kartunis ni sebagai satu bidang profesional dan tetap, atau hanya untuk sebagai hobi?
Okay, ini soalan bagus ya, sebab this one is mainly to do with we are already talking about the arts.
Yes.
So bagi saya, untuk menjadi full time cartoonist, dia you kena sampai ke satu tahap yang mana you dah establish.
Okey.
So when you are already established, orang dah kenal orang dah kenal you, and then senang nak dapat duit, nak cari makan. Yeah.
Yes.
So but if you're first starting out, my advice to yang nak start jadi kartunis ni, nak buat kartunis ni jadi kerjaya, my advice is jadikan ia sebagai hobi sampingan first.
Okey.
Ya, tapi teruskan melukis, jangan stop. Tapi you as yourself. Dapat follower dekat social media, and then once you tengok okay dah dapat klien datang kepada kamu, selalu minta lukisan, and then you feel like okay, I think now is a time that I can go full time, then you can go full.
Okay. How long it takes you ataupun berapa lama it takes you to be a professional cartoonist?
I think to be a professional cartoonist is a very mindset. If you feel that you're not a professional, even if 10 years you've been drawing cartoon, kamu rasa kamu tu tidak professional, so that means you're not professional.
Oh.
But kalau kamu dari start kamu dah fikir, okay, saya nak jadi seorang professional cartoonist, what can I do to be a professional cartoonist? Then already considered a professional mindset is already thinking about becoming professional cartoonist already.
Okey.
Ya.
Syubil,
So
adakah you punya karya-karya kartun telah dipublishkan dalam surat khabar yang you bekerja?
bukan dalam surat khabar, tapi dalam media portal, news portal.
Okey.
So first one dipublish di dalam The Rakyat Post,
Okey.
and then saya juga pernah menerbit kartun untuk laman portal Chili Sauce
Okey.
dan juga Says.
Okey. Oh, so you ada juga keluar karya-karya you dalam media platform
Ya, digital betul.
Okey. Syubil, saya nak lebih mendapatkan pandangan pada Syubil. Syubil memasuki pameran craftora.com, iaitu satu pameran berkenaan dengan rasuah kali ini. Okey.
Betul.
Pameran ini adalah pameran pertama yang mana rakyat ataupun penggemar-penggemar kartun boleh melayari platform ataupun website craftora.com untuk mereka menyaksikan karya-karya yang dihasilkan oleh you dan juga kartunis-kartunis lain.
Betul.
Okey. Apa pandangan you tentang pameran online kartun ni?
Saya rasa ini adalah satu inisiatif bagus. Sebab pameran ini disebabkan COVID-19 sekarang susah nak buat physical exhibition. So dari segi online, ramai orang Malaysia boleh akses daripada phone ataupun laptop, dan juga untuk melayari exhibition ini secara online. And I think the subject matter, corruption, rasuah, is a very very important subject matter. Sebab if we don't talk about it, lama-lama menjadi satu. So we don't want this in Malaysia, and so that is why the organizer decide to come up with this exhibition, supaya ramai orang tahu yang okay, rasuah ini bukan remeh-temeh, dia rasuah ini memang serius. So kita kena pandang serius.
Okey. Kita nak kembali ke layar hijau, di mana difahamkan Zubair ada mempamerkan 3 jenis karya. Betul?
2 saya rasa. Kalau
Dua. Di belakang saya ni dapat lihat karya-karya yang telah dihasilkan oleh Syubil, yang mana boleh dapat di dalam pameran craftora.com. Producer, boleh kita kembali ke skrin hari? Okey, bolehkah you explain kat kita, orang ramai, penonton, apakah message yang you nak sampaikan karya you yang ini?
Okay, so message bagi saya ini, my main point is masa saya tengah lukis kartun ini, masa tu kerajaan dah start memberikan vaksin kepada kepada rakyat Malaysia, ya. So, we have a global pandemic. Ini adalah satu pandemik global dan kita sudah ada vaksin. Ya, kita sudah ada vaksin untuk melawan virus ni. Tapi kita tidak ada vaksin lagi untuk lawan rasuah. Ya, so sebab itu saya lukis injection and then I put the word there is no corruption vaccine, because there is no corruption vaccine. So we need, very important to have solutions. Kita kena ada solusi untuk melawan pandemik yang sebenar, iaitu rasuah.
Tapi you bersetuju dengan lukisan you bertajuk there is no corruption vaccine. Ini bermakna MECC kita atau SPRM kita tiada solution untuk melawan corruption ni.
They actually have solutions.
Okay.
But the problem is a lot of them lack integrity. They a lot of them like recently, I think 2 days or 3 days ago, we got the news about how there was a case about some SPRM pegawai mencuri wang rasuah daripada perasuah.
Yeah.
So, curi daripada pencuri. So how this is all about integrity already. So we are talking about integrity. So although kita ada step.
Continue.
So although kita ada step, but we don't have pegawai yang integrity, yang rasa we have to follow through this step.
Okay. Can I say that we are not like Singapore?
I think Singapore, if you were to compare Malaysia with Singapore, Singapore is not perfect either. But their level of corruption, I think, is not as worse as Malaysia yet.
Okay.
So if you compare dua negara ni, Malaysia is still the worst lah.
Okay, when I talk to people, Shukbir, when I talk to people about corruption, and I'm making a comparison, saya buat comparison antara Malaysia dan Singapura, especially on the minister level, government level, minister, government staff, all there, because corruption must stop from there before it goes to the public. Because that's supposed to be the example to the Malaysian or to the citizen of the country. Okay, when I make a comparison, many people says it is very minor corruption happening in Singapore. It is because the government understand the corruption and the government pay very high salary and very good benefits to their ministers and also to their government staff that makes them not to corrupt. Okay? And we are still behind because we still spending unnecessary money on other things, and we don't want to upgrade our government staff, including MECC staff. We don't want to upgrade, including our police. We don't want to upgrade their salary especially and benefit to the higher level so that they stop of doing corruption and they focus to do their work and provide quality work like Singapore. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so when we talk about corruption, is actually we already talking about economic. And one of the reasons why it's corruption in the first is because we are in a scarcity mindset. One of the reasons why we are in a scarcity mindset is because rise in cost of living, economic uncertainties, mismanagement of the country's finances, and all of these things contribute to corruption. And bagi saya rasa korupsi ni dia bukan di tahap menteri saja. Dia setiap every level ada. Even Malaysian, even orang rakyat Malaysia pun bila dia orang kena saman, diorang akan just tell the police, macam mana nak settle bang, macam mana, that's the first thing a lot of Malaysians will do. So it's become a tabiat, it's become a habit. And the dangerous thing about habit, if you look back at history, if you look back at all the civilizations over the history, when we are not careful about our habits, it will eventually become a lifestyle and it will become part of the culture, and that's very, very dangerous. Once it becomes part of the culture, it's very dangerous, very hard to it. So going back to your point about Singapore, it is true that paying this pegawai a little bit more better money does certainly help you to combat corruption. But I also feel that also has to start from the grassroots, dari bawah, dari segi rakyat Malaysia themselves. They also need to understand, if I want to see the change, I need to start changing myself, because ultimately the government that we see in power today is a reflection of the people.
Okay. Tapi Syubir, I banyak nak bercerita pasal perspektif rasuah ni hari ini sebab saya nak dapatkan perspektif daripada seorang kartunis dan juga rakyat Malaysia. Okey, kalau selalu kita dengar dalam Astro Awani ke mana-manalah, dia punya view dapat pada minister, daripada orang ni, tetapi dia tidak pernah dapat view daripada orang-orang seperti Zubir, kan, rakyat-rakyat profesional, kan. So kali ni saya nak ambil kesempatan ini untuk mendapatkan lebih banyak pandangan daripada Cik Zubir, Cik Ma, berkenaan dengan rasuah. Tetapi sebelum kita pergi ke soalan seterusnya, gambar seterus yang kedua, yang karya yang kedua yang dipamerkan di dalam craftora.com. Tolong tunjukkan producer. Okey, yang ini. Apakah mesej yang ingin disampaikan? Muka macam alien ni.
So this one is when I thought about this artwork, the idea behind is I thought of saya ingatkan menteri. Sebenarnya menteri dia patut bekerja untuk rakyat. Tapi because the menteri ni dia corrupt, dia rasuah, dia suka rasuah. Everything, semua benda yang dia tengok, semua mata duitan, semua jadi duit. So that is why dalam otak dia pun duit, semua benda luar pun duit juga. It's all about duit saja.
The message is every time come out from his mouth is money.
Money, that's right. It's all about, the agenda is just about that only.
Okay. So Zubir, I like you punya objektif dan juga message yang you nak sampaikan dalam karya you berkenaan dengan rasuah. Okey, kita akan meneruskan soalan rasuah ni. Sebentar lagi kita akan berhenti untuk komersial. Lepas ini kita akan dapatkan demonstrasi, bila kita kembali, demonstrasi lukisan daripada Cik Zubir. Dan lepas tu kita teruskan perbincangan kita berkenaan dengan rasuah. Okey?
Boleh.
Okey. Okey, kita kembali, kita bersama Syukbir. Kali ini kita akan dapatkan beliau untuk membuat lukisan demonstrasi kartun beliau. Syukbir?
Yep.
Are you ready to do the demonstration of the drawing?
Yes, let me just adjust my camera.
Okay, can you show me the photo of Syukbir? Yes, I want to. Yes. Yes. Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. I will not disturb you. I will let you to focus for a few minutes to complete your drawing.
Okay. I will do a very simple one because
Simple
my
one,
actual
yes.
drawing is normally I will draw with pencil first.
Okay.
I'm not so professional yet, but let me just try something complex with the ink pen first. Forgive me if it doesn't look perfect, yeah.
No problem. No problem. But I like your alien.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is my first time actually drawing live online, you know.
Oh, that's good. More to come.
More to come, hopefully. I'm just drawing the
Actually, cartoon drawing should not be perfect, as long as people understand.
That's right. The message should be very simple, easy to understand, relatable message for the people.
Yes.
So I'm gonna use a thicker pen to draw the code for this guy.
Okay,
And
no
turn it
problem.
around so that you know what exactly I'm drawing.
Okay.
It's a very, very simple. So please excuse my style of drawing.
No problem, Syukbir. It's a cartoon. It's not a professional Netflix movie drawing.
That's right. That's right. I usually draw in the mama shop, you know, Kedai Mama. And one of the
okay.
best things about drawing Kedai Mama is people will actually come and ask you, hey, and then as you explain, then you talk about the issue, and then you educate them also about the issue that is happening in Malaysia. You know, it's a very good way of making friends. It's a very good way of educating public also. You know, cartoonist is a very good thing to do. All right, so I've completed my artwork already. I don't know whether you can see it. It's basically an illustration of a politician who is eating money, makan rasuah.
Okey. Okay, good. So that is about rasuah. Dapat duit
Yes,
rasuah
that's
tu
right.
dimakan
Dia makan, that's right. Dia makan
Yes.
duit.
So sebagai seorang kartun, terima kasih Cik Syubir kerana melukiskan gambar tu dalam masa yang pendek. Bermakna
Thank you.
sebagai seorang kartunis ni Syubir, tak kira lah lukisan dia tu perfect ke atau macam you tadi you buat ke separuh perfect ke atau 70% perfect ke, as long as dia kreatif dan mesej nak disampaikan tu senang untuk orang faham.
Yes, betul. Betul. That's right. The lukisan kena simple. And previously when I first started drawing, masa tu saya didn't realize this. But after I look at all the cartoonists, not only from Malaysia, like people like Zuna, but also abroad, cartoonists from overseas, Africa, Thailand, everything. I see that the best cartoon that yang saya paling suka adalah yang paling simple. Dia cartoon yang paling simple, very fast you draw, but the message is there.
Okay, message dia complete
Complete, that's right.
Sebagai seorang kartunis, adakah Zubir memiliki laman Facebook, IG untuk orang ramai menyaksikan karya-karya Cik Zubir? Cik Zubir?
Yes, saya ada. If you go on Facebook, you boleh cari saya Sukhbir Cheema, SUKHBIR space CHEEMA dekat Facebook. And then dekat Instagram pun saya ada juga. If you just go find for Ribkus, RBHKUS, Ribkus.
So you have all your artwork there lah, all your cartoon work there. Always
yes,
updated?
my Facebook and Instagram.
Always updated?
So recently I've been drawing much, so I haven't update yet, but I need to update.
Okay, Cik Syubir, apakah pandangan Cik Syubir? Kita kembali kepada isu pameran pasal rasuah, tajuk rasuah. Apakah pandangan Cik Syubir tindakan yang patut MACC atau SPRM ambil untuk membersihkan nama integriti mereka? Sebab mereka dilihat, pegawai mereka dilihat tadi integriti. Kedua, mereka pun di arena politik also mereka dilihat sebagai satu badan yang dikontrol oleh politik. Kan? Dan macam-macam diberi tumahan terhadap SPRM. Jadi, apakah SPRM ataupun MACC kita patut lakukan supaya ia bersih daripada ancaman-ancaman fitnah, ancaman-ancaman menjatuhkan integriti mereka?
So bagi saya bukan semua pegawai MACC adalah jahat. Operator rasuah. Dalam MA mesti ada yang masih ada integriti. So my message to the people in MACC is to, first of all, those who with integrity adalah find your tribe. That means look for the people who believe in integrity. You form a group if you can within yourselves, and then have a collective voice. Because kalau ada ramai pegawai yang ingin berubah ingin mengubah MACC kepada organisasi yang ada integriti, then it starts from the people within the MACC themselves. They also need to realize that we need to change MACC. These are the ways we need to do. So they need to actually warn their own leaders themselves. Especially the leaders doing something not right, they need to tell their leaders what you're doing is not correct. So they need to be whistleblowers as well within MACC as well. So that is one of the ways to keep MACC in check.
I was meant to understand that MACC is reported to the Prime Minister Department. The opposition party or the previous government is fighting so hard for MACC to be reported to under the preview of Parliament. What do you think about that?
I agree with that. I think it should be under the purview of the parliament, because if you just align MACC towards one responsible party, or which is the prime minister, it's very dangerous, because then you can actually sort of like influence whatever outcomes MACC's investigation or anything like that. So, but this is, I'm not accusing the prime minister of doing anything of that sort, but
Yes,
there is the danger of that.
Yeah, this
right?
is
So
the view.
it's important.
What we're talking now is
This is
about
the
your
view.
view. Yeah.
That's right. So it's very important for MACC, I feel, to report to the parliament, so that any investigation or anything of any issues, then the people in the parliament can actually start debating and deciding. And of course, MACC has to be independent as well. So they cannot be influenced by anybody.
Yeah.
They need to be independent.
Yeah, but Jubil, I want to touch a little bit about MACC, and I want to get your view. One more view. From the day they've been incorporated, and from the day they start their enforcement of doing this corruption activities enforcement, bukan mereka tidak ada buat information untuk menyalurkan kepada orang ramai tentang education, tentang jangan buat rasuah. Memang mereka ada, tetapi saya mengambil kira dua perbandingan. Pengeluaran iklan untuk mengeducate public, tak kira dari segi apa level public, maupun daripada pihak kerajaan ataupun di dalam autoriti jabatan-jabatan kerajaan, termasuk dengan swasta dan public di luar. Saya tak nampak MACC mengeluarkan kempen-kempen untuk highlightkan corruption punya enforcement punya activities, reminder. Tak banyak, bukan ada, tapi tak banyak. Tetapi apabila dia nak charge seseorang ke mahkamah, besar dikeluarkan. So check and balance tu saya rasa tak sesuai. Okay, saya bukan cakap dia patut engage kartunis-kartunis kita untuk bekerjasama dengan MACC menggunakan platform kartunis untuk menyalurkan information, menyalurkan education kepada rakyat, public, keep on reminding them about corruption. So what do you think about my point or my view?
Very good point. Because even if MACC do initiate some kind of campaign, most often their campaign is going to be through iklan,
Yeah.
some standard like a message, jangan rasuah or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it can be better, because rakyat Malaysia dia orang dah muak, like the campaign, the cara kita cancel isu pun from dari segi kerajaan is actually very surat lapuk.
Yeah.
Because you just put like iklan on the radio, on the TV, on the signboard.
Yeah.
It's not effective.
Yes.
So I do agree with you that I think they should involve arts and culture practitioners, and get them to educate people about the dangers of and also the benefit of having a society yang tidak ada rasuah.
Yeah.
So when you engage penggiat seni, penggiat seni, bila diorang create message tu tidak akan menjadi macam standard iklan saja.
Yeah.
Diorang punya message is going to be very human based.
Yes.
So it has to be a very human based. It could
Yes.
be through short film,
Yes.
or it could be through music, or it could be through cartoon. Cartoon
Yes.
infographic. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the scenario
Yeah.
of Malaysia years from now. If let's say there is no more corruption, this is where Malaysia can go to, right? So if we can come up with those kind of initiative and ideas and allow our arts and culture practitioners to express themselves this way, it will help plant ideas into Malaysians' head as well.
Yeah.
So
And
in that sense, it becomes a wholesome education program.
Okay, we still have this problem in the government sector, where if you don't know people inside that ministry, or you don't know people inside the JPM, or you don't know people inside MACC, or you don't know people inside every each kementerian, for example, cartoonists or art people, you cannot get a job because you don't know them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it is time for, is it a time for government to open up their new platform or their new mindset to art, use art to educate the world and to promote Malaysia to the world and also to Malaysian?
Right. So this is a very interesting question, Dato', that you asked, because I'm actually two minds about this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm two minds about this because, for example, if let's say kereta kamu rosak,
Okay.
right? Your kereta kamu rosak, kamu tidak kenal sesiapa mekanik. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna call your friend, bro, my kereta rosak, you boleh recommend mekanik tak?
Ah.
You know?
Yeah.
So kadang-kala, you have scenarios where the government, people in the government, they have some campaign, but because they don't have access to arts and culture
Yeah,
practitioners,
yeah.
they will resort to this.
Yeah.
But the danger is that when you do that, it becomes cronyism. Then it can be abused, because then you can say, hey, okay lah, just give my cartoonist friend or whatever. I know
Yeah.
this guy. Okay, it becomes cronyism.
Yeah.
So I feel it needs to be both sides needs to play a role. So that means the penggiat seni themselves kena proactive.
Yeah.
Make friends, be friendly, be humble, make friends with people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, from the government level also, they also need to come up with open tender kind of.
Yeah.
So you open it and then you say, okay, whoever wants to interested, wants to draw something or wants to work with us, please collaborate
Yeah.
with us. So that's one of the best ways to go about it.
Okay. Okay, Zubir, this is a very good view from you. Before we end up this program, apakah nasihat you kepada orang ramai di luar tu berkenaan dengan pameran kartun online craftora.com?
Okay, kalau ramai orang yang ingin melayari Craftora, please do so. You can actually go and visit the website. Please go and the cartoon. If once you already see their artwork, kamu dah tengok kerja seni mereka, please try to click on their social media account, follow them, support them. If you like their artwork on social media, please also share. Or so there are two ways. Ada dua cara kamu boleh support penggiat seni di Malaysia. The first is by either sharing on social media. Second is supporting, buying their buku maker, buku-buku seni ke, support them through money. So these are the two ways you can go about it.
Okay, what about your view regarding about to be a cartoonist kepada kanak-kanak di sekolah yang berminat untuk menjadi seorang kartunis atau ambil hobi kartun sebagai hobi? Apakah nasihat Cik Zubir kepada kanak-kanak kita, anak-anak kita di luar tu? Terutama sekali ibu bapa yang melarang anak-anak untuk berkecimpung dalam macam dia takut, anak saya buat kartun tak ada masa depan.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dato', for giving me the chance to address this. Bagi ibu bapa kanak-kanak yang kreatif, jangan risau, sebab bila anak anda melukis kartun, that means minda dia kreatif. Cara dia tengok dunia ini adalah lain daripada orang lain. So jangan stop melukis kartun, sebab dalam akan datang creative people are going to be more in demand. So once you have, kalau anak-anak anda pandai lukis, next time 30-20 tahun depan, bila dia menjadi CEO or maybe a pegawai or something, they can actually easily explain to their colleagues in terms of visual, dari segi visual, mereka boleh explain about things. So it's very important to galakkan mereka menjadi kreatif. And bagi anak-anak, adik-adik kecil yang suka melukis, teruskan melukis. Kalau cikgu, kalau ayah dan ibu cakap stop, jangan ikut cara mereka, you just lukis saja, jangan risau.
Jangan conteng dekat dinding saja ya.
Ya, itu saja. Jangan beli buku.
Okay, Zubir Cima, thank you very much. Terima kasih kerana bersama kita. Kita harap akan datang bila kita panggil Zubir. Anda boleh meluangkan masa lagi untuk kita berkongsi pengalaman dan mempromosikan aktiviti-aktiviti kartun kepada masyarakat di luar tu. Okay? Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Thank you.
Selamat
Thank you.
petang. Penonton-penonton di luar sana. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Jangan lupa follow dan share di Facebook kita Big Blue, BBTV, di YouTube kita BBTV dan juga di Twitter kita BBTV. See you. Bye-bye.